to one of
Recording in
us is a
progress.
threat to all of us. And that's why we are all here. Like Gustavo said, New York City faces a deficit of over $5 billion. Right now, Kathy Hochul is poised to allow Trump cuts to wreak havoc on New York City and New York State. She's poised to pass a budget that allows for a payout to New York's richest to come out of the rest of our pockets. Governor Hochul could pass a budget that works for all New Yorkers, one that ensures that the libraries stay open, that teachers stay in their jobs, that after-school programs stay funded, and that countless other city agencies receive the funding that they desperately need. Instead, she is going to allow New York City public servants and our communities to be used as bargaining chips. She's poised to allow the rich to keep getting richer and richer, while those of us who keep the city running and the communities we love are forced to do more and more with less and less. So that's why we're all here. I would really urge anyone who is watching and not in the phone bank right now, if you're in New York, please call Governor Kathy Hochul. Her phone number is 518-474-8390. Tell her to tax the rich, save New York's public services from Trump cuts, and please call every single day until the budget is finalized. And I am going to pass it back to Gustavo.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Um, like Molly said, uh, the fight of library workers is really all of our fights. When they come after one public service, they're going to come after all of them. This has been the strategy that neoliberals and capitalists use to defeat working class movements like ours, but we're fighting back, we're getting organized, and we're not going to let that happen. Um, One thing I forgot to say at the start of the call, just some community agreements. We want, to stay respectful during the call, let speakers give their remarks, hear them out. We're here to organize together and have our backs to demand that the governor tax the rich. And we're going to be, uh, starting our training, making phone calls later. We'll keep the chat open, but just keep it respectful and be considerate and mindful of others. So I think we're still waiting for Hasan
No,
to
I'm
join. Is that right? And
I'm here.
well,
No, he's here,
oh, he's
Gustavo.
here. Okay, great, awesome. Welcome, Hasan. I'm gonna pass it over to our guest. Really awesome to have you here. He's been a huge support to the fight to tax the rich, big supporter to DSA. Shout out if you're a DSA member here. I'm one of the co-chairs of the New York City Democratic Socialists of America, and I'm going to pass it over to Hasan for some hype.
What's up, everybody? Some of you might know who I am. Some of you probably don't. I'm Hasan Piker. I'm a Twitch streamer, and it is my honor to be here with you today. I'm not as good as I'm not as good at communicating, contrary to what I do for a living, as Zohran Mamdani is. But I'm gonna try to hype you guys up. I don't know what that actually means, but when I was approached to do this, I thought about how wonderful of an opportunity this is, because it's really good to apply some pressure to make sure that we have some responsive politics in this country, specifically when politicians, more often than not, are completely out of touch with not only the needs of the working class, but also rarely ever get to hear from the working class. But one of the questions I've approached Rashida Tlaib and many other congresspersons, many other politicians with always is, are politicians stupid or are they cynical? And the reason why I always ask this question, and some people really don't like it, is because I want to know why they're so unresponsive, right? Are they actually refusing to hear the calls of the overwhelming majorities that demand an end to the genocide, for example, and simply choosing not to hear it? Or are they completely oblivious? And Rashida actually told me something very interesting where she said, no, they're actually, in most circumstances, kind of stupid. Maybe not stupid, but kind of out of touch. And that gave me a lot of hope. The reason why that gave me a lot of hope is because when they do hear from people like yourselves, when they do hear from their constituents, that actually does light a fire under their asses. And that's why I think phone banking, what you guys are doing today, what we're all doing here today, is unbelievably important. Because door knocking is good. It's great to get an elected representative out there. It's great to boost membership. But the job doesn't end there. As Bernie has also talked about in the past as well, the job actually begins once you get someone elected into a position of power. Unfortunately, our opposition in this fight are unbelievably wealthy corporate overlords that have been responsible for the grand design of New York City, leading to such unjust outcomes. So we have to be undeniable. We have to be, in some instances, an unbearable force to be reckoned with to make sure that our demands are met. We have to sometimes force democracy and the democratic process to take place. So I think that's precisely the reason why phone banking operations like this one and smiling and dialing is incredibly important. So I'm really excited that you guys are all participating in this. One of the things I tell my audience, as I even told them earlier today, is whenever you get annoyed, whether it be with someone from a left caucus or a right caucus inside of the DSA, or Hamill and Sickle Twitter users on the timeline talking shit about the DSA from the outside, saying it's not revolutionary enough. I get called a sheepdog for the Democratic Party all the time, for example. Whenever you hear stuff like that, take that anger and frustration that you have with others and channel it into something productive, okay? Channel it into something productive like this, calling other New York constituents and ensuring that they also, and urging them to call Kathy Hochul, because the reality of the matter is this budget crisis, even though the New York Post and many others claim is happening because Zoran is a communist, this budget crisis was born out of capitalist mismanagement, right? And there are only two solutions to it. Either we demand that the super wealthy that enjoy this city, one of the greatest cities on the planet, to pay a fairer share of the productive output that they seemingly consolidate amongst themselves, or the only other way out of it is austerity. And we all know that that's unacceptable. The city has become increasingly unaffordable, and it's untenable. The situation is untenable. So I think we have to make sure that Kathy Hochul hears those demands and abides by the democratic process. So on that note, you guys, you want me to read the notes, right? About like where to go and stuff?
We're gonna do a little role play now between one of the campaign leaders who's just gonna go, over like what it's like to call a voter and patch them through to Kathy Hochul. So Sarah, who's one of the field chairs, she's gonna lead us through that together with you.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if we want to like get people to join this phone bank if we have that opportunity. Would love others to join. I think that there is a link that if people can easily join this phone bank at, I don't know if someone can drop that in the chat. And also, Hasan, nice to meet you,
Hi, nice to meet you.
my hero. Um, okay, yeah. So the link to join is dsa.nyc/TTR phone, dsa.nyc/TTR phone, if you want to join the phone bank and call New York leaders, tell them to tax the rich. All right, so we're gonna do a little role play. I'm the volunteer, so most of you on this call, I'm you tonight, and Hassan is the person on the phone. All right, and we'll do this again in a training, an actual training showing you how to use the tool. But for right now, just imagine I'm calling, I'm looking at my script, and I'm like, hey, this is Sarah. I'm calling from NYC DSA's campaign to tax the rich. Is this Hassan?
Ah, how did you get my number?
Oh, great, great. I'm so glad it's Hasan. I'm so glad to speak with you. So we're in the final days of the state budget negotiations, and Governor Hochul is refusing to tax the rich. She's forcing cuts in New York City by refusing to fill the budget gap. And the governor is sabotaging Zoran's agenda and our chance at making New York affordable. So would you be willing to leave a short voicemail urging leadership in Albany to support real taxes on the rich in this year's budget? I can text you a short script and patch you through directly to her voicemail.
I'm a little worried. I feel like the wealthy deserve all their wealth, don't you think? Aren't we limiting the most productive individuals in society if we were to tax them? Wouldn't they run away from New York City?
I can totally see why you might think that. I can see why higher taxes maybe don't sound appealing, but things like public transit, public school, healthcare.
You got muted. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. The infrastructure is so terrible. I feel if only there was a way to harden our infrastructure here in one of the wealthiest cities on the planet. Oh, well.
Exactly. And I think you're really touching on some things about why we need higher taxes. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but things like public transit, public school, healthcare, they run on things like taxes. They run on the budget that the state provides the city. And that's really what we need to have a stable and functional New York. And I love this city. How do you feel about this city? Do you love it too?
Yeah, I do. I do like it. And I heard Ken Griffin talk about how he's going to move his businesses down to Miami, and that really pissed me off.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that sounds insane, especially since we've seen the facts. It's statistically not true that anyone's leaving New York when they're making more money. The millionaires are actually coming here. There's more millionaires here and billionaires here than ever. There's actually more billionaires here than the whole world. So it's absolutely untrue that raising taxes on the rich is going to change any of that. It really is only going to impact working people and people who need that money coming into the city.
Okay, so what can I do then? You've sold me.
All right, so it sounds like you would be willing to leave a voicemail to our state leaders. So if you don't mind, I'm going to send you a script right now. Do you mind if I text you a script? I can do it really easily.
Sure.
And I'll patch you through. All right.
Okay.
You're going to see a script come through on your phone.
Do you want
You
me
guys
to
will get there.
do you want me to read this script?
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Hi, my name is Hasan Piker, and I'm calling to stop Kathy Hochul's cuts and to tell the governor to tax the rich. Hochul needs to fund Zoran's agenda and stop sabotaging him. Over 1 million people voted for Zoran's affordability agenda. We won't accept Kathy sabotaging that agenda by imposing austerity on New York City. Hochul, stop the cuts, fund New York City, and deliver a budget for the working class, not the CEO class. And then the rest of it that's it, right? And the call to action.
So actually at the end of your voicemail, you can just hang up, but
Yeah.
you did it. Great call to Kathy.
Okay, there it is. That's one extra call to Kathy Hochul. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this process. And also, obviously, I'm sharing this with my audience right now as well. This is being live streamed, live broadcasted on my stream as well. And all of you guys can join the phone bank too from anywhere in the United States of America. You don't have to be in New York City to do this. And you can go and join the phone bank at dsa.nyc/TTR phone. Right, I got that right, and we're posting the link in the chat as well. And if you can't join now, and you're in New York, because I don't know, you're working or something, you can call Governor Kathy Hochul at 518-474-8390. That's 474-8390. And you can actually call Kathy Hochul's office every single day until it's over. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't understand that, someone has to keep this city running. Like a lot of wealthy people in general, they think, I feel like it's a fate worse than death if I were to pay a little bit more in taxes. They're unbelievably selfish. In some instances, it almost feels like they're more worried about the threat of it all. Like they're more worried about any success whatsoever as far as taxing the wealthy being implemented. They're worried that more of that will happen. They're worried about existing in a more just, a more equitable system. But it's pertinent on all of us to make sure we play a role in advancing that agenda, because I talk to politicians all the time. You would not believe the amount of access that wealthy people and corporate lobbyists have. And sometimes we have to be a lot louder than they are. We have to work extra hard, but we do have the numbers, and I think that is what matters. I've seen it. I've seen it with politicians that listen to the demands of their constituents in town halls and whatnot, where they do sometimes change their mentality. It's not as, I know it seems like American politics is so unresponsive. I know it seems like politicians don't actually care, that they only care about their corporate benefactors. But the reality is, when they do hear from people like yourselves, when they do hear from all the other people that you're calling to urge to call as well to advance this agenda, they actually do respond. There is a lot of power in that. There is a lot of power in your voices. So thank you guys. Thank you to everyone that's participating in this. I feel like we might have broken the phone line. That's what people are saying in my chat right now. But hopefully, you guys can join afterwards as well. And thank you so much to the New York City Democratic Socialists of America for putting up a strong fight to fight for those who can't fight for themselves.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you for your solidarity. We're going to get started with the phone bank. It's been great having Hasan here. He's been a strong partner this whole fight. So we're going to get started with our dialer training. Eric, who's our campaign manager, is going to go over how Scale to Win works. And then we're going to start making calls to voters in New York and patching them through to Kathy Hochul.